Hello everyone and welcome to the February devlog of 2026, aka we are in the month of love. Um with Valentine's Day and everything happening. Yeah. Anyway, um I don't have any announcements to make, so let's get straight into the updates for this month. Um to start off, I finally did manage to fix that one bug that has been present in the last two updates. Um, Basically, when attacking on the ground, it will play the landing animation briefly when it wasn't supposed to. I fixed this by simply prohibiting the use of that one animation when on the floor. And now, with that bug out of the way, we can get into the real updates. Firstly, I added running particles um, to the player. Uh, as you can see, just particles appearing when you run. And secondly, um, the player has two new attacks on top of this attack. So the first attack is an uppercut that does that, and the second attack is a downward slash, which can only be done in the air. Um, and as you can see, the when doing the uppercut, it gives a uh, small little boost in jump height. Um, so yeah, that's that, and we'll be able to hit anything above it pretty much, um, a lot more effectively than trying to jump and hit it from the side. An uppercut would be the better option. Or if you just like uppercutting things, it's fun to do. Um, and for the down downwards attack, it simply swings the sword beneath and attacks anything below. And you can also bounce off the enemies, aka a pogo. Yeah, let me try to do it. It's tough on small enemies. Um, yeah, there you go. As you can see, I bounced off the enemy. Um, Also, if you're wondering why everything looks so much more different, that's because this is actually like the level or the first level in the game or room, whatever. Uh, but yeah. Um, anyway, next up, sound has finally made an entrance to the game, which you've been hearing, um, which include the landing and jumping animation, or not animation, sound effects, the attacking sound effects, um, the walking sound effect, and the sound effect for when the player is hit. Um, so those are the sound effects for the player for now. Um, I didn't add in a hook sound effect, so that's still quiet. But more sound effects are to come later, of course. And that's pretty much it for the player now. And uh, now I'm going to talk about the levels and level/environment. Start props 1 through 4 have been added, aka decoration for the level. Um, you've been seeing the rocks on the floor. I'll probably put up a picture of all 4 of the projectiles now. Or not projectiles, props. up on the screen in editing. And moving on to the level. Okay. Apologies for the pause. Um, moving on to the level. Um, more enemies. Also, don't mind that weird sound effect for the enemy. But coming up here, there is a pit of spikes. And this is the first hazard added to the game. And what I mean by hazard is just anything from the environment that can hurt you. I added 3 spike variants um, and I just mixed them all together into one spike pit. And when falling into the pit of spikes, you will respawn at the last point you were before you left the ground, and the screen will quickly fade to indicate a respawn. So if I walk off, I respawn. There, if I jump off from here, I kind of like went here, but also I slid off the edge. And if I were to go all the way from over there, I would spawn over there. So yeah. I needed some healing because I don't want that. Anyway, so besides that, I've already been showing off the first room. It's complete with the future rooms already planned out and under construction. There's enemy number 2. Oh. Okay, and yep, that's all for room 1. And to go along, you just seen it right there. Or to go along with the completion of room 1, 1-1, you seen it there. I added a fade out and in when transferring the room. Also, this is not room 2. This is just the room that was to test level swaps or room swaps. So don't worry. I will make sure that it does look better and has consistent lighting. And now for a really short section on the enemies. I will be going back to the testing room. So BRB. Okay, we are back and here to talk about the enemies, and the reason I came to the test room is because this is where I keep all the enemies so far, which are the first 3 enemies. Anyways, first up, the Little Stone and the Joyful Flame now have a taking damage animation, though this animation, actually I'll save that for later when I actually show off the Joyful Flame. So can't really see it pacify, but it does have taking damage animation. And let's get the Joyful Flame. It doesn't. What do you mean there's an error? Okay, So I won't be able to show that off in the actual video, because I totally forgot that the Joyful Flame doesn't have a taking damage in it, or taking damage sound effect, which crashes my game because whenever I hit an enemy, it tries to find that one sound effect, and if it's not there, then it's oh well, goodbye game. But I will show the GIF that probably already playing right now. Um, and that will only play when you hit it and it's not locked on. If it's locked on, it will not play that animation because that would be interrupting the attack animation and that would be bad. Also, when it locks on, it's locked on, there's no getting rid of it until it does its attack. And the second um, the second and final update for the enemy section, they play the sound effect, which I already mentioned. I am probably gonna keep working on the sound effects for the enemies specifically. I think the player has pretty decent sound effects, but it's very watery. Let's keep it at that. And it's weird. But that was just me messing around, and I literally have zero. Okay, we are back. Sorry about the sudden cut. I know we were talking about the enemy sound design, and how I'm pretty new to sound design and actually never worked on sound design before. Anyways, I'll keep experimenting until I'm happy with what I have, especially since this is a no budget project currently, so I can't buy any fancy software. I just have to use free software and kind of do everything with free stuff. Anyways, we're already at the outro. Because that's all I had to share for this month. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with what I have for this month. Even though looking back at it, I didn't do that much. But hopefully once I'm on break from college, which should be in like the next 3 weeks, I'll will truly be able to give this game my full attention. And one final thing is that I did start working on something towards the end of this month, though I don't want to share it further because I want to talk about that thing when it's actually in a functional state, which after I wrote the script, I've actually been working on that a bunch in my free time, and it's coming out pretty nicely, or coming out nicely for something that's not finished. But maybe you'll see it next month, maybe not, but you will be seeing it soon. So until next month, which is March. Goodbye.